Hello and welcome, online moneymakers. This is Michelle Brubaker, and I'm here today with Dill Ward. And you can already see she's a magnetic person, and so you're gonna love this interview with her because you know what? Whatever product, whatever service that we do online, we want to create that a magnetic influence. We want to draw people to us, and that's what today is about: learning how to do that. And I'm excited to bring this one to you. I met Dill years ago. She is definitely an online person that brings magnetism to her. I love it. We were talking earlier and she had mentioned she's done like 500 Zooms or something, right?
Before it was even Zoom, it was like Google Hangout back in the day.
Yes, it was. Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, she knows how to create that magnetic personality online. So I just had to have her on here. So for those of you who are creating products or creating online courses, whatever that is that you're trying to influence, we have people that are starting coaching businesses and people that are just beginning that influencer journey. So you're perfectly positioned right now to hear her message because this is that new place for you where you're going forward and leveling up to that next place. So I'm so excited to have Dill here with us today. So why don't you take just a moment, introduce yourself, where you're from, and kind of, what you're doing in business, and then we'll get right down to it.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So I am what I like to call a serialpreneur, right? I always have a new idea, a new way to bring solve a problem in the world, really. I mean, when you're a business owner and you're just out there looking for problems and you can package solutions, whether you're a service provider or you have products or you have online products, whatever, it's always just about like looking into the market and seeing what problem you can solve. But I feel like a genie, like, oh, I have an answer for how that can be solved. And so that seems to keep turning into businesses. And so, yes, I have several businesses. I have an online company that I started to support women in business through coaching, support, community networking. And then I have a local business running a real estate company in Portland, Oregon, where we use all of the online tools to magnetize and grow our audience for our in-person business too. So yeah, excited to energize you guys today.
Yeah, you're out there doing lots of things. That's amazing. That's wonderful. All right. So I just want to go real quick over to our Facebook group, and I want to welcome people who are watching us. We have folks watching here on Facebook, and I welcome you watching with us today. Be sure to post your questions, click the like, share this video if you think there's someone that might be interested in this. If you're watching on YouTube as well, feel free to post your comments. We'll see them there also. And so I welcome you if you're watching this as a replay video later, and welcome to you too. So thank you. And so Dill, talk to us about, what do you mean? What do you mean by having that magnetic personality or influencing and drawing people to your product or service with magnetism? Talk to us about what that is and how you do that.
Yeah, well, one of the hardest things to learn as an evolving early bird entrepreneur, when I was saying in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, the hardest thing to understand was that you, as the representative of whatever you've put together, your company, your product, your service, while it may stand alone as a brand, it may stand alone as a problem-solving thing in the marketplace, you as a thought leader, you as the creator and the maker of it, has a personal brand that has to be managed by you. And I think it took a long time for me to realize that, like, your own name and your own energy that you put out in the world is the very fuel that fuels your entire company and your organization. And seeing your own self as an entity to be managed in front of audiences is kind of a mindset shift when you're just getting started.
Exactly. And it's funny because, I've had Fernando on this show before, and he one time had said, Michelle, people don't like me because him. And of course, people don't like him because he talks too fast. And then, Michelle, people don't like you because you have too high of energy. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait a minute, what? And so then for like 2 days after that, I thought, well, maybe I should tone it down a little bit. But then I had people commenting me like, no, Michelle, we love you just the way you are. So I think, isn't it also that we're bringing to the table who we are and not trying to change who we are, but to use that to our advantage, right?
I think really owning your values, getting really clear about what you stand for in the world, your worldview and your perspective on how you see everything around you and how you share it is all fuel and energy for your company's services and products through your personal brand. And what happens to a lot of people is they want to appeal to everyone. They're like, oh,
Yes.
I've got products for everyone. I can coach everyone. I can do everything. But then really nobody connects with it. And so, and also it feels, it's not as fulfilling as the leader of it all with just the anybody's coming in the door. Because just an anybody coming in the door is like, your stuff's okay. Yeah, I'll use your stuff or I'll buy your stuff. Versus the raving fans, the people who are like, no, you're the only thought leader for me in this topic because I just connect with your energy so authentically, right? And so I think what's really important as a budding and growing online entrepreneur is to find your voice and to find your presence inside of that, so that the audience that you are magnetizing and drawing to you is the right people, is the right fit and connection that are going to become super fans, brand advocates, business partners, JV partners, like all the things that someone could become because of your willingness to show up in your own skin and your own perspective.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. And I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Janice Devo. Thank you for sharing this video. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing this with your audience.
Hearts for you.
Hearts and love, Janice. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Janice just got digital karma, so she'll be getting lots of love in the digital space for her contribution in the share.
Yes, thank you. So what if I'm like, we have a lot of brand new people here, people that are brand new, like, hey, I want to break into internet business or create an additional stream. I'm just getting started. There's tons of information in this group of different ways to do that. But how can I incorporate this and just get, as I'm getting started with it? And we also had Blake on a while back ago, and he talked about that number one thing that holds people back is imposter syndrome. So, taking that out of the equation too, to just be real and authentic, like you said, and who we are. But how can I start incorporating that just from the get-go as I'm just coming out of the gate?
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be great to do some journaling work to kind of like decide what you stand for. I like to have 3 guiding words. So I always revisit these. You can change them. They don't have to always be the same, but 3 guiding words that you put through a filter to say, like, this is how I want people to feel when they interact with me as a marketer, as a business owner, as a brand, as a company. Like, these are the things I want people to feel. And then what's really, really, really important in the beginning is congruency, is being the same, is not like putting out one marketing piece or one YouTube video or one thing, putting on this beautiful package of energy and showing up for it, and then immediately putting a bunch of like hate messages on your other social media platforms about how hard life is. Like, you have to manage the way the world sees you from a business owner and marketer perspective, and not get sucked down in using all these free social media tools to be your personal, airing your laundry. So putting yourself in check and saying, you know what, I'll complain to my best friend or my partner or my blah, blah, but I'm not going to do it online anymore. Online is the space in which I can magnetize and manifest magical opportunities, connections, money, all the things that I need. So I'm going to keep my maybe higher criticism or just disappointments in life in general off my online brand, right? And so I think that's super important in the beginning, because if you're not congruent as people are just getting to warm up to you, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to fall in love with you. They're going to say something's weird here. Like, if you're not walking your talk, like if you're a health coach and you're talking about how you're binging ice cream on the couch, like, you want to be congruent with your message. And I think that's so important, because people are watching, and they will become customers a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, for one video or one message that you put out there today. They will get into your tribe, they will get into your audience and start watching. And even this interview opportunity today with Michelle, we met years and years and years ago, and you just never know when there's an opening to arrive to do something together.
I love it. Yeah, exactly true. And it's interesting that you say that, because like in my classes, because my personal business is publishing and I teach courses on how to do that. But what was interesting is I've seen a lot of people in that, like, peel back the curtain and reveal and show us what's inside, whereas a lot of other influencers in that space are telling you what to do, but they're not showing you that they actually really did it, kind of thing. So that speaks volumes, what you're saying. And people follow a person for that authenticity that's with them out there.
And as a newbie, here's the permission. You're going to have this like, oh, but I haven't accomplished all the things. You just have to be a couple steps ahead of your audience, a couple steps ahead, taking risk, falling on your face, getting back up, trying again, and letting them witness you, because some people really, really, really relate to people who are just a couple steps ahead rather than the multi-figures, super successful, flying in a private plane to lunch. Like sometimes someone's going to hire you because they're like, hey, you're relevant. You just got through this. This is the stage I'm at. You can help me. And so there's no shame in the game of being new at anything, but standing in confidence, standing in enthusiasm, and standing in possibility for your potential client to step forward and make progress with you.
You are just a bundle of energy. I love you. You have so much positivity. It is just magnetizing, exuding all over you, girl. That's awesome, right? I want to take a moment. Please post your questions that you have in the group here under our video, or put them on YouTube as well. I always love to go over here and check these just to make sure if anybody is with us today. Thank you. It's so great to have you here. It looks like there's a issue on the Facebook group, so I hope that everyone's still able, that you're watching live here.
And I do want to say, if you happen to run into this video on the replay, there are no accidents. The reason this came across your digital space is you were just supposed to hear this message and get a little shot of confidence and pep talk to be reminded that anything is possible when you shift your energy and you get into the right place and you get around the right community of people. Being around people like Michelle and the people that she gathers gives you access to think like this all the time.
Exactly. There's no accidents, right? We're here for a reason. There's a purpose and a reason that somebody came across this. I love it. It's exactly true. It's funny. I was just looking up a topic this morning on a particular topic, a tech issue, and I came across an article that somebody had written a long time ago, and they actually happened to be in the Portland area. And so I'm like, well, hey, let's talk. You never know what something that you said or did some time ago does come back around for you. There's power.
Digital marketing is a long-term asset building, right? Every time you do a video, an interview, make a thoughtful post, a blog, everything you do is just part of those legs of access points to you. That's why you want to be congruent. You want to keep showing up with the same values and the same attitude and the same perspective, because someone's going to find you 5 years later and they're going to go looking for you, and there you are, and you've just evolved. You're even smarter now, And so I think that that's super powerful. And you might feel like the vapid, I made a blog post and 2 people saw it and nothing happened from it. Wah. But that's just part of developing your message and fine tuning your voice on your topic.
Yes, and it's out there forever, right? Just like the Brad Paisley song goes, right? The internet is forever. And it's interesting. When I used to be in the web marketing space, I used to talk about writing reviews and testimonials online. I have a book I used to promote about that. But anyway, I would say in the book, don't write bad reviews online. Not to do that. Don't write some scathing review about something, because if somebody Googles you and they see that, then they're going to think, oh my gosh, Michelle's a real Krabby Patty. And you know what? You can't take that off. I always say, taking something off the internet is like trying to take pee out of a swimming pool. It's out there. And if you don't believe that, Google Beyonce tries to take photo off the internet, and he try and can't get this picture of her at the Super Bowl, I think it is, that somebody got her of a funny face. And so that's out there all the time. So we do need to make sure that our message is congruent in what we put online, because it can come back years later to you.
And I think also not being afraid to tip the line of something that might be sensitive. For most thought leaders, as they're growing, they don't want to piss anyone off. They just want to everyone. I want to be liked by everyone. Raise your hand if you want to be liked by everyone, right?
Yes, I do.
But there comes that point where you hit a tipping point where if you don't stand for something and take your position on where you are with it all, nobody's really paying attention to you, And I like to say the minute I got the haters and the trolls on my messages, I was like, I think I've arrived. People don't like me. That's the whole point, right? Is you have to personally grow. I think it takes a lot of long-term personal development commitment to be resilient, to be an online thought leader, to be a brand, to stand for something. You have to have tools in order to manage your emotions around a launch that doesn't go anywhere. People who don't like what you have to offer, people who buy things and then just immediately want a refund. Like, you have to emotionally manage your emotional intelligence around how does this affect you? Did one thing kick you out of the game and now you're on the couch and don't want to do it anymore? Or are you like, all right, I'm going back stronger. I've learned. I know what I did wrong. I know what I could do better. And I think that is something that is easy to miss as a newcomer. You think, oh, everyone's making money online. They just put up a splash page and make money and it's easy. But if you're not willing to be tested and willing to keep refining and iterating the things that you're passionate about, then you won't make it.
Isn't that the truth? Not everything is a slam dunk, right? And we talked to Jacqueline just a few days ago on here, and she was amazing about that, of letting go of those things. But I love your perspective on where you're going forwards with it too, because one of my programs somebody doesn't buy, but the other one, they buy it like crazy. Or when you create a product online, some people may not like that product. I tell people, do your research first, because it stands a much better chance if you do your research to find a profitable niche first. But how would you talk to people like that?
I'm sorry, what's the question? Like, in terms of?
Well, some products are going to fail, and some.
Things can fail. So here's the thing, that just because something doesn't have the outcome that you expected doesn't mean it wasn't a good product. It could have been messaging. It could have been timing. It could have been market conditioning around how you positioned it. Maybe the pricing was off, right? So you can't just say, well, I sent 5 emails and nobody bought it. It sucks. Like, you just can't do that, right? I mean, think about how physical companies that sell physical products, they don't just like completely abandon something they were going to sell because first five people in the store didn't buy it. They just keep refining their marketing and trying to get an understanding of what the market wants. And part of magnetizing your audience, I think, is becoming a hero to them. And how do you do that? Is like, you listen. You listen to what are the market problems, and then you take their exact words right from their mouth. You create and package something, maybe something you already have on the shelf. You're like, I created a program for that last year, but it didn't sell. I thought it sucked, but maybe it was amazing, and I just didn't position it right. And now you hear the problem resurfacing, and you're like, oh, the problem's resurfacing. Let me take their exact marketing language and show up as a hero and say, I hear you saying that you're struggling with this very thing right now. Here's the solution. And that way you are bringing them in and magnetizing them to it through your own observation of the marketplace.
Mm-hmm. And that shows that you are knowledgeable in the marketplace as well, that you're listening to the audience out there. Part of the research, if someone's creating a product, a lot of people that start product selling on Amazon or eBay or Etsy or all of those places. And we talked about do your research first. But one of the ways to do that research is by listening, even looking at reviews on things, and someone will say, hey, I really like this product. I wish it had A, B, and C in it. Even one of my coloring book or activity books, and someone said, I really love this, but I wish it had more of this. Well, if I'm listening and paying attention to those words, then I can show up, like you're saying, and bring that next product, that next book, that next item or service to the audience and deliver and serve it up to them and cash in on it too, of course.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of marketing that comes at you that says, we heard what you were asking for, and here it is. And you're like, I wasn't asking for that, but I do want it. So like, I like to say too, as a marketer, your job is to study marketing as it comes at you and see what you respond to and what you get triggered by and what you're like, ooh, that got me, and just to study every granular piece that comes to you. I like, spam mail. I love it because it's more content for me to study and for me to just understand if it was like totally didn't land with me. Maybe I was like, I wasn't the audience for this. You misread that. I don't know how I got targeted. But starting to think like that as a new business owner, especially an online person, online marketer, creator of products and services online, you want to start falling in love with observing human beings and their needs. And you know what? You only got to get dressed up from the neck up and you can produce great content all day, And one thing that I really want to stress is you could make a very powerful video and get off and then look back at the views because that's all you'll do for the next 48 hours. How many people looked at it? How many people looked at it? And you're like, oh, only like 20 people looked at it. But that doesn't mean that you're done, right? You're not just like, well, I made a video and oh, well, 20 people looked at it. You have to take that same energy and bring it fresh to new eyes over and over and over and over. And it's like I was thinking about this one day, rock stars, 20, 30, 40 years in their career, they're still going out on stage, producing their new material, and everyone's yelling, play the hit, And so you don't get to ever stop talking about the thing that, you think, oh, I've already talked about that too much. No, everybody is coming to you for it. They want to hear it. They want to hear it from you and your perspective again. So just because you made a video 2 weeks ago doesn't mean it's over. That's the main thing I really want to express on that.
Because they will circle back around over time, and you never know what's going to just at that moment just blow up, right? When someone is searching for something, they're searching for somebody that's different or new or unique like you. Yeah, I love it. Wonderful, wonderful. So talk to those folks that might be kind of on the shy side. Maybe, hey, I'm afraid about putting myself out there because I'm new and, I'm not used to being in front of the camera. How can they like get that magnetism out there because if you're new, you don't really know. I mean, I had somebody comment on my last video a couple weeks ago. And she said to me, she sent me a message, Michelle, you look so great on camera. Everything's going great. And I said to her, if you remember that the first one I did, I cut my head off right here. And I had to delete the video because it cut my head off. It was just doing it over and over. And the repetition is the mother of skill. So, yeah. But those folks who are kind of, fearful of stepping out, how could they get that magnetism?
I want to ask you, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want the success? Do you want to make the money? Do you want to have the freedom? Do you want to provide the life for yourself and your family that you're craving, that is possible? You've seen other people do. What are you willing to do? How uncomfortable are you willing to get? And I think that is the main question that has to kind of be answered inside on that spiritual level, because there's going to be time and time again, you'll be tested to rise to the occasion. And you can decide every time, I can do this, or no, I'm too shy. Or you can say, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to push through and get a little uncomfortable, because the riches and the fame and all the goodness on the other side is on the other side of uncomfortable. Now, of course, you don't have to do anything that's against your personal values or something that you're just straight up like, no, that's not going to be possible. But you are going to have to get uncomfortable. And I think that one of the best pieces of this to kind of focus on is what you're really uncomfortable with is the idea of being seen starting out. You're afraid of being seen starting out, because starting out, you cut your head off. Starting out, you accidentally hit stop on the video when it's playing. Yeah. One of my first videos, I'll never forget this. I was doing my first Facebook Live. I was doing the walking video, and I fell. And the phone flew out of my hand, and everyone thought it was hysterical. I actually got so many views because, and I was horrified. I was like, I'm never going online again. I'll never talk to anyone again.
That is funny. I'm laughing with you.
Yes. But now I think to myself, you know what? That's like a part of the blooper reel now, and that's ego. That's ego getting in the way, saying, hey, if you're not perfect, if you're not this, if you're not that, then you're never going to succeed. But if you watch anybody who's good at online marketing or online video or photos or anything, they were terrible in the beginning. That's just where we all start. You don't get to just quick start to the pro level, So please be kind to yourself. If you feel shy, just take it easy. Just have one friend help you, check out your video before you go live with it, or, just there's steps you can take to mitigate your fear and your anxiety about this, but you are going to have to get uncomfortable, and it will be worth it.
Yes. I know it's totally worth it, because I think of even last year, and last year at this time, I couldn't have imagined that I would be where I am right now. And I'm just flooded in my heart with gratitude over that. I have so much gratitude. And I know that gratitude just, it comes from me too. And people see that I'm very, very grateful. But then I stop and think, okay, now I have to like up level and go to the next level. And I don't know where I'm going to be next year. But since I couldn't have imagined this last year, who knows where I'm going to be? Now I have that belief in my heart. And I know that you can go to the next level because you've already did one level. Now you go to the next level. And every level has that next fear and that next thing that we're concerned or, with. But once you do it even just one time, you're like, okay, I got it on that one. Now I'm ready for the next one, right? The next thing.
And I hope that never ends. I hope it is a perpetual series of uncomfortable levels that you are on a growth trajectory and it's never going to end. Like that becomes the new normal of being capable, willing. And willing is the real key here, because so many people say they want something, but they're not willing to get uncomfortable, to be seen starting out, and to be messy, and to just freaking be messy. Like, I don't know, launched a page, the button wasn't working, did this, that didn't think, there's so many ways you want to just beat yourself up and erode your confidence to this. But what I know about, especially the times we're living in 2020, we have this incredible experience where we can reach the entire planet from our phone and mobilize an audience around anything that we're passionate about, to be a thought leader, to be an entertainer, to be enrollment into a community that you're dreaming of being a part of. If you want to be part of a community that you can't find, you create it. You go out there and you build the tribe and be the leader, the accidental leader. Like, oh, I built this and now I have to lead it, and grow into the role, because that's what the world desperately needs. And in reward for that, you will make lots of money. You will have lots of opportunities. You'll have lots of freedom. But you have to take the first steps to getting out there, getting the word out, and finding your people.
So beautiful. I just love your message, Dill. You have just spoke so much positivity to everybody and encouragement. I don't know how you can't be fired up after this, right? You're just like, I'm ready to go take on the world and go and do it. And I encourage you to do that too. Well, Dill, why don't you go ahead and wrap us up and talk to us some more and close us out here.
Let's land the plane, guys. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take this time that you just spent listening or watching this video, and you're going to take it into your heart, and you're going to say, what's the next action step I could take that kind of terrifies me a little bit? I may even have to send a message to Michelle or to the community at large to say I'm going to do it so I can be accountable. I mean, that's a big piece of entrepreneurship and solopreneurship, is that you say you're going to make a video, but no one's watching and no one noticed that you didn't do it, right? And so put yourself in a place where you can say, yes, I'm going to do this. What's the next thing that you're going to dare yourself to do in order to reach your people who so desperately want to hear from you? There's only one there's only one person like you that's been through all the crazy stuff you've been through, all the backgrounds and the knowledge and the random jobs you've taken and the things you've done, how you can inspire and motivate other people. But if you don't get going on this, it's just all like locked up in your head, right? And so we want to see you make money. We want to see you make an impact. What's the next great action step you can take to put yourself into the next level?
Excellent. And I encourage you to do that. And then tell somebody, post it, share it with a friend so they'll hold you accountable to it. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dill. It is a pleasure, absolute pleasure. I'm going to be sharing this video a ton for folks because, man, they need to hear this message. They truly, truly do, to be inspired, to be motivated, and to take action at that next step. And I want to thank everybody for watching today. Thank you for watching on Facebook. Please give us a like. Share this video, give us a love and a heart, right? Yes. And if you're watching on YouTube, also please subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell icon so you get notified of new videos when they come available. And feel free, please, to comment. I do watch those and would love to see them. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching today. Thank you. Thank you, Dill, for coming online. Thank you.